everyone, and welcome to this video. Here I'm going to show you a worked example of how you can design a role-playing game scenario or a LARP. To do this, I will use a LARP that we at the Transformative Play Initiative created called Agents of Empowerment. So what are the things you need to answer? Do you remember? You have some overarching things. Here I added in time, in this case, a number of players, but also purpose and vision. Then you have the more specific parts, and here you find where, as in where are we, whom, who is there, relations, how do they know each other, why are we here, and what are the players going to do, and of course, safety. But where do you start? We started out with a workshop that Sarah Lynn Bowman and Kjell Hedgard Hugas had done that they had wanted to build upon. And we also had a lot of discussions about how to make academia a better place with a better working environment. And a lot of the problems connecting to that are structural, and that can feel quite overwhelming many times. And we wanted this experience to be something that could be used on an individual level, but maybe at least help with starting a change and to make people feel empowered. We wanted to do this experience for people that are in academia today. And when talking, we realized that if we are actually going to ask people to participate in this, asking them to take more than half a day for this probably would be hard. So therefore, we decided that half a day, that's our time. So now we have a time frame of 4 hours, including everything. And we also broke this down even more into 3 parts, where the workshop would get 1.5 to 2 hours, the actual game would get 1 hour, and the after discussion would get 1 hour. So as you see, there is still a bit flexibility here to have room for changes, but this is where we started out. The next thing is purpose. So why are we doing this LARP? And here we already had our answer. We wanted to help out by making academia a better place by giving individuals tools to help themselves and others, and to help people feel empowered. But how will we then do this? We wanted to make this purpose a little bit more specific and came up with what we wanted the players to experience. And this is what we came up with. So the first part was to help people identify a quality in themselves that they would like to develop and that will assist them in challenging situations. The second thing was that we wanted people to experience embodying that quality and to feel supported in that embodiment by others. And the last thing was about using narrative, symbolism, and shifts in perspective to help people make sense of life. And of course, this is how it looks now after being iterated on. But the general ideas for our main purposes here, they were the same. They were just maybe not as nicely phrased at that time. Okay, so now we also have a purpose. Since a creative process is not always following the exact order that the template has, we from here didn't just take the next question. Here we instead had a discussion. Often I actually usually do a brainstorm here, but this time we had started out from a workshop that already contained elements we could use, in this case superheroes. So we had some kind of base that we could build upon. And in our discussion, we actually quite quickly got to answer our where, in this case, an alternative universe with superheroes, and our whom, people whose powers had manifested. And in this discussion, the name Agents of Empowerment actually came up for the first time. And this then led us to realizing that we wanted to do something about a superhero group that would have powers, but also using the powers to help with empowering each other and others. And since we talked about academia when we started out, we realized that this should be a superhero group that would work within academia but undercover. But what would people then do at the LARP? Since we wanted all players to get to be superheroes, we had to find a way where we could play that didn't actually need to have a lot of other people involved. And this is where we came up with the idea that the LARP could be some kind of tryout to become a part of a superhero group. So they would be doing some kind of a test to see how they would work together as a group, where they would be challenged and had to stand up and use their superpower and also support each other. And to make sure everyone got to be in the spotlight, we decided that each person would get their own scene where they would be in focus and where they would get some kind of support from another character. And they, in their turn, would then also get to support one of the other characters in that character's scene. For this to not become a lot of just watching other players playing scenes, we had a lot of discussions about if they would maybe play extras in the other scenes. But that still isn't as interesting, and it also can be confusing for beginners doing a lot of switching between different characters. So we instead decided to keep the play group really small. The number went a bit back and forth, but we ended up with 4 players. So now we could also answer the number of players, 4, and in the specifics, where, an alternative universe with superheroes, whom, people whose powers have manifested. Why are we there? For the characters, because they answered a call to people with special powers about doing good for society, but more on a story level to become part of a new superhero group that will infiltrate academia to make it a better place. And what will they actually do? Have a test session where they get to play out memory scenes about hard situations that they have been in before, but this time they get to revisit with their superpowers and a support person. And each person then also gets to be the support person for one other character. So now we are missing relations, safety, and vision. For relations, we already had established that they would create a new superhero group, and that would imply that they didn't know each other since before. But we wanted them to have some kind of relationship to help them interact with each other and have some kind of connection. We talked a bit back and forth, and then we decided that each character would have met 2 of the other characters before and have one that they had never met. We wanted this to have been a very brief interaction and that they wouldn't know each other very well, but they would at least recognize the other person. Since we had said that they in the scenes would support each other, we could actually use this also for the relations. So we decided that the relations would be that they had helped one of the other characters and that they had gotten help from another of the characters. But this would have happened before they actually got their superpowers. Then exactly what they had done and in what situation, that would be up to the players. But we thought of things like, we met at a concert 10 years ago and he helped me to keep my place at the front row. But after that, we actually had no contact. Or we took this one class together at the same university and she helped me to find the classroom the first day. So the person they had helped before would be the person they would also support in the scene. And the one they got support from before would be the one that would now support them in their scene. Safety. For safety, we discussed a number of different techniques and what would be necessary. We wanted them to play scenes that would feel relatable for them also off-game, since that could help with integrating this into the real life. But this also means it can be more challenging and touch upon sensitive subjects and trigger emotions. In the end, we landed on making sure we would get them to know each other a bit before. And then for the specific techniques, we worked with the X card, opting out, off-game, softer, cut, and intensity calibration. The intensity calibration is one that we came up with for this game. Since they are playing individual scenes, we actually ask them before they start the scene how intense they want it to be on a scale from 1 to 10. And then the player gets to choose what they want, so everyone gets to hear and get an idea about how to play the scene. For after, we decided to not just have an after discussion, but to also have a follow-up session a week later to be able to check in and also to be able to integrate and transfer more of the content to everyday life. We also gave everybody a debrief buddy. This means that they got paired up and that they then, in this pair, had to check in with each other at least once during the week before the session and talk about the experience they've had and any thoughts or feelings that might have come up after. Vision. Why do I take vision last? Shouldn't we have thought about this early on? Well, some of the things we did establish early on. We could already at the start say, being in an alternative universe with superheroes, but not with any specific evil nemesis. The bad guys in this story would be structural problems and hard situations. And we, after the initial discussion we had, could have added to that, emphasis is on group cohesion. But we also later realized that we would have to play this online because of the pandemic. We then decided that we wanted this game to be written so it could be played both online and physically. And that also became a part of our vision. But since this LARP was written to be played by non-LARPers, the focus wasn't in communicating about those parts. It wouldn't mean very much to someone that hadn't LARPed before anyway. So what we had to highlight instead when presenting it was not so much about this specific LARP, rather we had to focus on the purpose and why this was a form, LARP in this case, that would be relevant to use to work with that purpose. So therefore, vision actually wasn't as important for us. So now we had added vision to the overarching parts and relations and safety to the specific parts. So we have now filled in all the parts. But as you probably have noticed, there are some things that we have not yet answered. Like who makes the characters and in what way, exactly what scenes should this contain, and what should each scene contain, and what does the world actually look like, and so on. You can think of what we have done so far like a skeleton that we then flesh out. It's the initial design that we then iterated and built upon. For example, we saw that we needed a first scene where the players got to try out their characters and start to just interact a bit before going into the individual scenes. And we later also added a scene where all the characters had to work together as a group after the individual scenes. The actual design document is a living document that we still make changes to and update after each run. After the first playtest, for example, there was a number of smaller things that we needed to change and tweaks that kept happening. For example, we actually decided to take away some of the safety mechanics, like cut, since it got too much to remember for the beginners, and that didn't actually help them. Instead, we focused on using a few safety mechanics, like off-game, more widely. The LARP script today is 6 pages with 5 pages of appendixes with materials to be used during the workshop parts. But everything comes back to this basic design structure and our purpose. Thank you for listening, and I hope this worked example showed you how you can work with design and how to design a base for a role-playing game scenario or LARP. There are, of course, many ways to do this, since a creative process can vary and look very different. But this is one way of doing it, and this is how we did it for this LARP.